Hi, my name is Yami, and I did the Life Sustainability Project, and this was week one. For this project, I had to change three things in my life and try to become more sustainable. And honestly, this was a little challenging to try to figure out what I was going to change. But in the end, I ended up changing my waste usage, my eating habits, and my electricity. Trying to go zero waste was a little harder than I thought it was going to be. And I tried doing this on Monday, and honestly, I kind of forgot about it. And I bought a couple things, but they ended up being recyclable, so I ended up just recycling them. But I had to keep it on my mind the rest of the day to try to remember, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't get this because I might it's not going to be recyclable and it's going to ruin my project. I need to try to go zero waste, and so that was a little difficult for me. And I think that it's really hard to go waste free in today's kind of society just because of how things are packaged nowadays. And a lot of the things aren't recyclable, and everyone has a phone, and usually, they run out after a couple of like years, like 1 or 2 years, especially iPhones. So going waste free with having phones is pretty difficult, and buying food such as chips that are in those bags that aren't recyclable. So going waste free, I think, is definitely a lot harder than one would think it would be, because, you know. And the second thing that I chose to change about myself was going vegetarian and not eating meat on 2 days. And these days it was on Mondays and Thursday that I did this. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But again, this was for 2 days, and I think it's a lot more challenging doing it for more than just 2 days. I know that I probably wouldn't be able to do this if I had to do it for longer. I know that I love meat and I grew up always eating meat, so just changing to a non-meat diet would be very difficult, especially if I had to be vegetarian for like a couple months. I don't think I'd be able to do it or anything. And lastly, I try to save on my electricity. And this is kind of hard because I live in the dorms. And so when I try to turn off bathroom lights, or if I try to turn off the kitchen light, people would always turn them back on and like not turn them off once they were done using the room. And it was kind of like frustrating because I was trying to like reduce all the electricity that was being used throughout the house, but no one really cared, and no one was like gonna turn them off, and it was just, you know. But when it came to in my personal room, it was a lot easier because I knew what I was trying to do. And so instead of turning on the lights, I'd always open up my windows and use the sunlight. And whenever I wasn't using anything that I had plugged into the wall, I made sure that it was unplugged and everything. So that was a lot easier for my personal room, but in the house it was a lot more difficult. Overall, I learned that one, I really love meat and know that I wouldn't be able to go the rest of my life without eating meat. And two, that it's really hard to have no waste. Going waste free, I think, is very difficult. And doing this project, I gained a new respect for the people that are vegetarian and that are able to go waste free, or at least as much waste free as they possibly can.